Unit 4, Pattern Texts. How do pattern texts help bilingual learners read and produce sophisticated, fluent writing? Before we get into pattern texts, let's look at our big ideas so far. LEA, shared reading, and pattern text. We call these practices language-rich because they use authentic text and language connected to real contexts, and there are many opportunities for meaningful and lively conversations throughout. They provide a significant amount of scaffolding in terms of teacher support for reading. However, we're always working towards developing independent learners. The scaffolds are temporary. As you experiment with these practices, consider ways to continually assess when you can remove supports and students can succeed independently. I hope that you see that successful reading practices include speaking and talking about many life experiences that connect to the students' languages and cultures. Reading activities include participating in activities in the real world and creating original text to read. Speaking, writing, living, reading, they're all mixed together. This is the week we look at ways to use pattern text to support the literacy development of bilingual learners. Pattern texts repeat a certain language pattern throughout the text. This repetition of the language pattern is a natural scaffold for bilingual learners. It gives readers a chorus to return to throughout the reading. Pattern texts come at all reading levels, from kindergarten picture books to poems studied in high school. For example, The Important Book by Margaret Wise has an easy and highly adaptable pattern for many grade levels. Each page talks about one item, saying what is most important about that item, lists 3 details, and returns to the most important thing about that item. The repeated lines, rhythm, and high context give support to struggling readers. With pattern text, you go beyond reading or responding to the text. The important step is to move students to writing their own original version of the pattern text. You may be tempted to move directly from reading and discussing the book to having students write their own pattern text. This might be okay, but generally, students will learn more about language and create more elaborate text if you follow the gradual release of responsibility model. You see that I've put 2 yellow arrows next to guided instruction and collaborative. So before a student even writes their own copy of a pattern text, they've done it with you as a whole class, and then they've done it together with a pair or a small group. Here's a suggested routine, and you certainly may vary the level of scaffolding depending upon your learner. Usually you read the selected text multiple times, then explain and discuss the model. You may need to be very explicit about the model because it's hard sometimes for learners to pick out that model. Then you compose collaboratively, read, reread the new text. Compose as pairs or individually, read, reread the new text again. The book that we read previously, The Important Book, it also can apply to content areas very easily. So here it is, the important book when you're talking about math symbols, the important thing about the multiplication symbol. How about electricity? The important thing about circuits is, and social studies, the important thing about Mexico is, geography, so on and so forth. So many applications of these pattern texts. Formulaic poetry is also a type of patterned text. This is the well-used I am poem. Well used because I see it a lot in schools, but I never see that students are tired of it. So the poem, it gives the students a starter and kind of hints on how to fill out the lines. And the I Am poem allows students to produce a poem that sounds deep and sophisticated, even when they're just learning English. Just like the pattern text, there are countless ways to connect the I am poem to the content areas. You could do, I am Esperanza, I am Nelson Mandela, I am the bus that Rosa Parks rode, I am the math symbol pi. So, why are pattern texts so powerful for bilingual learners? It helps them internalize English language structures. That rhythm and repetition is so beneficial. Allows your learners to sound smart, gives them access to higher text levels. And very similar to the LEA, it uses the student's own vocabulary and experiences to create these readable texts. And the text can be read again and again to multiple audiences. Up next, so you've watched this video, your next 2 Explorer activities are complete 2 readings and then you'll look at the student look-fors. Thank you very much. Have a good week.